Shot clock violation.
Welcome back to Shot Clock Violation, the only NBA podcast hosted by casual NBA superfans Zach Huber and Scott Schultz. I'm Zach Huber, and this is Scott Schultz.
Hey everyone, the NBA draft taking weeks long this year has made me the biggest Lamelo Ball fan, and he didn't even fall to the Bulls, so I got that going for me.
Good to hear from you, Scott. And also here with us is our referee, Jack Cronin. Jack.
Hi guys, I've had the entire summer and fall to get caught up on the NBA, and I have not done a minute of that.
That's right. As you know, Jack is our referee, and we're back again this week after a long break. We did take a break after the NBA shut down and didn't get quite ran back up, but you know, we enjoyed the rest of the season, took the time to ourselves, to work on our well-being like everybody should be during this time. And now we're back before the season to talk more about the NBA on Shot Clock Violation on this game show, that we have that rewards brevity and intelligibility. For each topic, we'll have 24-second shot clock to give our take. Jack will preside over the discussion and the clock, and he'll hand out violations to whoever goes over time or has the dumbest sounding take. At the end of the show, we'll tally all the violations, and whichever one of us has the most will have to say one awful sentence that the winner comes up with, which is always fun, no matter what it is. It's usually good-hearted and usually has something to do with the NBA. Now, don't forget that similar to an actual NBA ref, Jack, as he has already alluded to, knows absolutely nothing about the NBA.
But
he still has not a damn thing. And he still has absolute authority over the show. So without further ado, I'll give it over to you, Jack. Take over the show.
All right. Thank you so much, Zach.
Happy to be here, Jack.
So we're gonna pop right into the questions today, boys. I hope you are well rested, well stretched, and ready to get back into the season.
I've been quarantining for months.
Yeah, I got to say, I'm real focused, Jack. I've been working out in quarantine as well. I've been doing lip ups. That's when you do a push up with your lips. I'm ready to speak.
Fantastic, boys. All right, so with 24 seconds on the clock, I'm going to read you your first question, and Zach has been elected first response of the season.
Yes.
In this abridged season of the NBA that took place in a bubble, on the lighter side of things, what was your favorite moment within the bubble? Zach, your time starts now.
Okay, so undoubtedly my favorite moment, being a fan of upsets and the underdog, was when Denver made their run and unseated the Clippers. It was phenomenal. It was some of the most exciting basketball I've ever watched when they had to come back and beat the Utah Jazz and then come back and beat the Clippers and actually pulled off both times, being the first team in NBA history to ever pull off 3-1 down 3-1 comebacks. That was amazing. It was fun to watch and I loved it.
Ooh. The clock says 24, but maybe my hand was a little slow. Zach, we're going to give it to you. We're all getting used to the season. Don't worry about it, buddy. Great take. Now, Scott, we're going to head right back over to you. And so what was your favorite moment in the bubble?
Listen, we all care about storylines, and there was no bigger anime back and forth than Donovan Mitchell versus Jamal Murray in a 7-game series. I'm talking so many fuck you threes back and forth. Each guy saying, fuck you, I'm going to hit this. No, I'm going to hit this. Fuck you. I mean, back and forth, and there's never been a greater series that ultimately didn't matter, but it was so fun in the moment.
Fantastic. Love to hear it.
Dude.
We can only hope that there will be... that will be some sort of shonen exam in the next season of the NBA. So
I hate to say it, but I agree with Scott. I love that moment. It was so fun. It makes me think of Vince Carter versus AI, back in the day. Like that was so exciting to watch.
I hate to say it, but I actually agree with Zach. There's nothing funnier than seeing the Clippers blow a 3-1 lead after Pat Beverly told Steph Curry, I got the next 5 years.
How could we forget that iconic line, Scott? Thank you for bringing that back up.
Almost as good as saying you're going to contract coronavirus and then touch every mic in the room.
Ooh,
Recall.
dirty. Dude, that really came back to bite him. I honestly, like, isn't that crazy that that's just a moment that those two had to live with? Like, his teammate, Donovan Mitchell, like, I'm surprised they were able to put that aside and make the run that they were able to in the bubble because, like, there
Yeah.
was some serious beef from that. Like, and I can't blame him, dude.
It was honestly surprising how quickly we moved past the Rudy Gobert thing because it felt like the part in a Will Ferrell movie at about like at the end of the first act where he does something really, really, really ironic, like I'm going to touch these microphones. What's the worst that could happen? Sad slide whistle. That was Rudy Gobert for literally every major sport in the world.
It really was. It was the most bizarre harbinger of literal death and, just the slums of seasons of every league to come.
Yeah, like our grandkids
God.
are literally going to be like, where were you guys when what were you doing when Rudy Gobert touched a microphone?
Where were you when Rudy Gobert went with his hands on those mics?
So, okay, beyond Rudy Gobert's legacy and the haunting where were you moments that will carry on from that, what other things do you guys think are going to carry on rule-wise, culturally, or between the league, between the fans? What things are going to carry on after the bubble and after this is all over? And Scott, we're going to start with you. Your timer starts now.
I think the biggest takeaway is that wings are the most important position in basketball. Positional scarcity is a thing, and we saw in the bubble that it wasn't so much about having the big man or the point guard that could do it all, but having the 3-and-D guy that can give you positional flexibility and guard 4 different positions.
All right. More analytical and legit than I expected. Zach, now over to you. What do you think will carry on after the bubble? Timer starts now.
I think the biggest takeaway from the bubble is just like that it's another marker and another like milestone in player empowerment. Like the bubble was just like a really big step, I think, for player empowerment with like getting control. It was on the back of their jerseys with the things they were saying, all the protests that were happening, stopping the games, doing that stuff. And I mean, after the fact, like I think James Harden might actually be able to force his way to the net somehow by just willing it. So I think player empowerment I'm going to keep going. I just think player empowerment has changed remarkably in the NBA in just a short period of time, honestly, the last 5 years. But I think right now, right here where we're at, seeing what happened in this bubble, it just felt like the NBA was like really listening to and working with the players, unlike any other sporting like organization does. And I just found that really inspiring. I thought it was really cool. And I think we're going to see a lot more of that in years to come.
I agree. And I think a statement worth the penalty.
Yeah, I'll take the penalty on that one.
Yeah, certainly. I think that's going to be a big part of the future of the NBA, and I'm very curious to see what that looks like as sentiments of eat the rich get louder and louder. Let's see what the rich do to the ultra rich.
Yes.
Fantastic.
That's a funny Hunger Way
Scott,
games to put it, Jack.
Yeah.
I like that.
Yeah, Scott,
Very
do you have any
dramatic.
kind of rebuttal or do you have any commentary on the thought?
I don't know how I would rebuttal that. Yeah, I mean, Zach's 100% correct.
I don't think they would. Fair enough. Okay. So, on 3, who won the championship this year? 1, 2, 3.
The fans.
The Lakers. Oh, okay, that was cool. The way you did that, Scott. That was
The
fresh.
fans?
I liked what you did there.
Pretty solid. Okay. All
I
right.
was just so excited.
All right. Penalty for you, Scott. Wrong answer.
Yes. I need all the
Zach,
penalties.
you lose
I
your
can get.
penalty, so you're in the lead now.
Oh my God! Thank God.
And with 24 seconds on the clock, Zach, we're going to go to you on, do you think that there should be some sort of asterisk on the Lakers championship due to the irregular circumstances of this year's season? Starting now.
No, I don't think there should be. And if anything, I think their championship was actually a little more complicated. They had to be away from their families, from everyday life. They had all of these like problems outside the world of the NBA weighing on them the whole time. No other players had to gone through that. And not to mention the uncertainty. I think it was a bigger deal that they did it this year.
Very solid. Scott, how about you?
I mean, I know I only have 24 seconds, and the gimmick is we have nuanced questions that we have to kind of rush through. But the answer here is no. Like, who gives a shit? Like, we don't talk about the Warriors getting lucky when they won 73 games because Kawhi twisted his ankle at a playoff run. Like, in 5 years, nobody's going to care. They're just going to remember the Lakers won.
Well put. With plenty of time to go. Fantastic. All right.
That was a dirty answer,
We're
Scott.
gonna move
That was
on.
so dirty, but I loved it.
Really, what I'm getting at is the
Sure.
Warriors
Yeah.
now have an asterisk. I've spoken it into existence.
He's not anti-Lakers asterisk. He's pro-Warriors asterisk.
Is this
I
where
think most seasons should have an asterisk.
Is this where I bring up the joke about the Lakers having all those Minneapolis titles before they moved, and they're geographically terribly named with the Lakers in LA?
I think now would be the perfect time to do so.
Like, nobody cares about that. Like, nobody's gonna care about the bubble asterisk. Like, we'll forget about it in 3 years.
God,
Definitely.
I wish you weren't right.
Dude, it's crazy. It might just become a regular thing. Like, it might just become the thing where it's like, of course they did that. Like, that's the new normal. That's what the NBA is now in 2028 or whenever we're talking about it again.
The Matrix 2030
The future
NBA league.
The future of the NBA is in a bubble and a bunch of Walmart ads telling us that they're doing everything possible to make sure that we get our deliveries on time.
I mean, I will just say a lot of people are just like comparing it to like pickup basketball and stuff, which I think is like, okay, I get where the comparison comes from. There's no fans, stuff like that. But I actually think it's like kind of weirdly more like video game basketball. Like we were seeing like crazy numbers that we've never seen before. We were seeing offensive bursts and spurts that we've never seen before. And we were seeing teams and like having to employ like more strategies throughout the game because the fans weren't playing as like big of a role in the games themselves. Like strategizing became like a forefront and like coaches were actually able to like collaborate with their players better, like being able to like talk to them and stuff. Like it was just so interesting to me. It was just like a really cool thing to get to experience, I think.
Yeah, I mean,
whether we do it or not, again, it was just so cool.
It's a really good point. I mean, the funny thing about the bubble is, like, yeah, defense was optional at the door, and a lot of guys didn't take it. But, like, I think that was more a symptom of Rudy Gobert touching microphones and the season stopping short, rather than, like, if we keep doing bubbles, the season won't stop unexpectedly unless somebody gives Rudy Gobert a one-on-one interview and he's within arm's reach of a microphone, which in fairness, he's got like a 10-foot wingspan, so you can't be too careful. Like, boom operators are going to have it really tough.
Rudy Gobert is pretty much always within an arm's reach of a microphone. I don't think he can walk through everyday life without doing so.
All right. Y'all got too funny. We got to move on now. All right. We're going to move to the draft. So what do you guys think the best draft pick pairing between player and team are? And Scott, we're going to start with you. You have 24 seconds on the clock, my friend.
I'm going to butcher this guy's name, so I'm going to say the shorthand nickname, Poku, Alexei Pokushevsky. The Thunder, I think the Timberwolves took him. The Thunder traded for him. Look, this guy's Giannis 2.0. There's just a video of him in 9th grade on YouTube where he's 7 feet tall, doing dribble moves and jacking up 45-foot three-pointers, and it's like the coolest thing ever, and I love it.
With 1 second to go. Fantastic. Zach, we're going to move over to you. 24 seconds on the clock. What do you think the best draft pick team player pairing is?
Scott, that was a beautiful answer, but let's be real. It's got to be LaMelo. Could it have been any more ironic that LaMelo Ball got sent to the Hornets, the team that's owned by Michael Jordan, the person that LaMelo Ball's dad has threatened and put a hit on? We all want to see it. Come on. And it's more likely now than ever. This is going to be this is the most amazing news of all time. LeVar Ball might actually have to play Michael Jordan.
Perfect timing. Again. Fantastic, boys.
Are we allowed counterpoints?
You may.
Counterpoint. The pairing is so great for Poku and OKC because OKC literally has 8,500 draft picks, and they could trade like an army of third graders right now for literally Michael Jordan. We could see a Michael Jordan in a 7-foot European Slenderman next year.
Hey, I'm going to put this out there right now. Okay, listen to me. Now that LaMelo's on the Hornets, okay, they've got a young squad with a lot of athletes, lob catchers. It's going to be fun to see him facilitating the whole squad, getting lots of assists. But let me just put this out there. What do they need? A veteran presence in the locker room. What do we do? But after his big Last Dance performance, we bring back MJ into the league, age 50, to be the oldest player to ever play in the NBA for his own team, where he runs the squad and takes over in late games after Lamelo Ball facilitates the whole squad to keep them in the game. It's the perfect.
You lose a point because Scott already proposed trading for MJ and seeing him in the 2021 season.
Yeah, I also ran out of gas on that statement. I had nowhere to go with it. That's
You
fair
know who's
enough.
not gonna
Honestly,
run out of gas?
fair enough. Walk away.
Who's not going to run out of gas?
All the second grade army of basketball players the Thunder have. They're going to be so ready in 2034. Guys aren't even prepared.
I like this running joke that you have, mostly because I know how true it is. Like, it's crazy how deep their draft picks run and how you can really think about the fact that they traded Paul George for somebody who's probably in the 6th or 7th grade.
There's a generation of millennials that grew up with 2K that worships Sam Presti because he's playing 2K in real life. It's like he gets a guy for 5 days and it's like, I'll trade you for second round pick. Sam Presti traded his own grandmother for a top 10 protected first round pick. Like, the dude is all about potential.
Fantastic. All right, moving on to question number 5. James Harden.
Yes.
What's up with him? Where should he end up? And Zach, we're going to start with you. Starting now.
This is a tough one. There's a lot of talk, and of course, he may not end up anywhere. I think the Rockets are, stubborn. But I would love to see him in the Nets, of course, because it would just be so exciting. I mean, can you imagine all those egos coming together in New York City? It's going to create the biggest super ego we've ever seen in our lifetimes. I mean, it's going to take over the world like that big jelly substance in Ghostbusters 2.
Oh, you must have had a timer running. Perfect.
Yes, at the shot. Yes, baby.
All right.
Can you beat Ghostbusters? That was just natural talent.
Tell us about James Harden. Starting now.
I can beat Ghostbusters because that's a feel-good movie. What we need is a villainous heel turn, and that's why Golden State should trade Klay Thompson, even though he's injured, James Wiseman in the Minnesota pick next year for Harden, and he's going to his rivals Golden State. We're going to eat that shit up.
Oh my God. An anime betrayal the likes we've never seen.
Damn, son. All right, Zach, what do you got to say? Plausible?
Dude, I'm shook because I almost think like the Rockets would even like slightly consider something like that. Like, I think they're like shook, like as an organization, like hearing Russell Westbrook and James Harden just both like just like basically like want out of the pocket rocket situation that they went all in on last season after it just like, like crumbled in the playoffs. Like, it's just very telling, and it's just like, oof, it's a big oof, man. So like, I mean, I could see James Harden doing anything. And if he went to the Warriors to team up with Steph, that would honestly be the most broken, fun team to watch of all time. So I would definitely support that. But could James Harden and Green get along? I don't know.
What do you think, Scott?
I think Draymond and Harden could get along because they allegedly both have an affinity for strip clubs. But I think this trade's really plausible because like the reason the Rockets are blowing it up is because their owner doesn't want to pay the luxury tax. And like, if you're trading Harden's contract for Klay Thompson, like, Klay Thompson's recovering from a torn Achilles. Like, he can't chase the Rockets owner when he's not bouncing checks and giving him bad checks. Like it's kind of the perfect crime.
Isn't there like a thing? Isn't the Rockets owner being kind of hurt by the whole COVID crisis with like his like food chains?
Yeah,
did you just say that?
He's got some bad business ventures. I can't remember if he's got like a seafood chain or like casinos or something.
It's something like that. I'm almost positive it's a seafood chain, Scott.
Also, I want to apologize.
Chinese bat trade, actually.
I want to apologize to Klay Thompson. I know you're listening, and that was a really poor taste joke. Sometimes I just start speaking, and I hope to find a point halfway through.
Dude,
Sorry,
that
Clay.
would be the dirtiest thing ever, though, if they traded him after that injury that he just sustained. Like, I was honestly, when I heard about that, Scott, I was bummed out, man.
I was
I
really
really
bummed
thought
out.
him and Steph coming back next year was going to be fun, but damn, that really bummed me out when I found out he was hurt again.
Yeah. Counterpoint, OKC could trade an army of kindergartners for James Harden and Alexa play I'm Coming Home by Skylar Grey.
I love that the age range gets younger every time you
Really
go
has dropped
into
from 6 to 4 to 2. Oh, the kindergarten starters next season.
The 6-year-olds, they're a little washed up, you gotta get younger.
A little washed. All right.
So good.
During the bubble, who in the West, what team was the most improved? And Zach, we're going to start with you with 24 to go.
There's been a lot of people that have made some great acquisitions. I mean, the Suns got CP3. The Lakers have gotten everybody in the league. But I actually think it's the Nuggets. They haven't really made any off-season moves yet. But I'll just say, like, during the bubble itself, like, they improved phenomenally as a team. And they're one of the biggest teams you got to watch out for in the West. They're coming for everybody, and I promise. Like, they're so good.
I'm going to give you an extension. I'm going to give you, quick turnover. Someone made a shot and here's a rebound. So take another shot clock. I want you to expand a little further.
Yeah, I love that. I mean, I'm excited. I'm really excited about how far Jamal Murray and Jokic have come. I mean, they've truly ascended to another level. They look like the next iconic big man, little man duo in the NBA. And they've got the perfect squad around them. Like Michael Porter Jr., if he is any bit of his potential, it's just going to be so fun to watch this team play for the next 10 years.
Very nice. You must have a natural shot clock in your heart because you get
I'm
just
feeling
under
it.
24 every time. Spot on, my friend.
Oh my God, I love it. I can just feel it. I love this. I'm back. We're back in the shot clock game, baby.
We're back
under
in
the clock.
Shot clock game. So Scott, I'm going to give you the same treatment. You're going to get 48 seconds on the clock. I'd love to hear who your most improved in the West is.
Speaking of naturally knowing when the shot clock's going to go off without looking, I'm going to pull a J.R. Smith and shoot it 10 seconds in. I think it's the Suns, man. I love the Chris Paul trade. Second facilitator unlocks DeAndre Ayton. I mean, that team they're playoff bound now.
Oof. I'd
Very
love
nice.
to hear you talk more about their playoff potential, Scott.
Yeah, but I did the
You do
J.R.
have
Smith
24
bit.
more seconds.
I did the J.R. Smith bit. I got to own it and walk away while LeBron yells at me.
God damn it, Scott. Don't you know that Devin Booker's going to make his first All-Star appearance next year with fucking Chris Paul on the team finally? Don't you know that, Scott?
I mean,
being
just
LeBron. I'm
pick and
yelling.
rolls with Ayton and CP3 are going to be so much fun, and I think people are going to finally get to see Ayton's potential of, not just the LOL, the guy taking over Luka Doncic, but, guy can ball. That's going to be a fun team.
Guy
I
can
have to
ball.
agree with you, Scott.
Hard to refute.
Mm-hmm.
So we shall move on to the East. And Zach, we're going to send it back to you.
Yes.
What you got, Scott?
Okay.
Oh, wait, is Zach up or am I up?
Oh, I thought you had a joke.
I'm still walking
Scott's
away
always
like
got a
J.R.
joke.
Smith. Does that count?
Iconic.
That does
Keep
count.
walking, baby. Zach, back to you with 48
That's
seconds. Fire it up. Who's best in the East?
Dude,
Most
I mean,
improved.
I think the most improved in the East is easily the Nets. I mean, they got KD back, right? He's healthy now. Barring that he is at least 70 to 80% healthy. They went from the 6th seed in their conference to the 1 seed. So, I mean, it's an easy softball answer, but definitely the Nets.
Yeehaw. All right, Scott, moving over to you. Best in the East, most improved. Fire it up.
Paraphrasing in the words of every football coach ever, basketball is a game of inches, and I think the smallest move can pay the biggest dividends. That's why I'm saying the Bucks, baby. Drew Holiday is exactly who they needed. They needed a creator who can facilitate and unlock Giannis and Middleton. I mean, this move's all in. Giannis might sign the Supermax. They're just going all in. I mean, they even signed DJ Augustine, can replace George Hill. Bobby Portis, he brings some feistiness to a team that needs a guy who can come off the bench and fracture a teammate's face. I mean, this team is going all in, and I love it.
Fantastic.
Dude, I did not know they signed DJ Augustine. Oh, I was just going to say, I didn't know about DJ Augustine, actually. I'm hearing about it for the first time through you, Scott. And that's actually, like, as a person who is, like, a general Bucks fan, like, I love Giannis, that's a sick move. Like, I love seeing them pick up somebody like Augustine because that's where they really need help, honestly. Like, I hate to say it because I was high on him. I know early in our NBA talk, Scott, but Eric Bledsoe is just such a disappointment for that squad, dude. And the fact that they gave up Brogdon instead of like giving up him back when they had the chance a couple years ago, they just need a player to replace what Brogdon was for them, and I'm excited to see what they do with Drew Holiday.
I think it's
because,
Drew.
Like, he is that player.
He slides right in. He's exactly what he needs. I mean, yes, Eric Bledsoe was great for that drop back defense they run with Giannis and Lopez, but like I think Drew Holiday is a renowned defender. Like he's going to slide in, he's going to be good. Like that's a team I think can help get them over the hump, which ultimately makes them the most improved in my eyes.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, if Giannis keeps going the way he's going, like, who knows? Like, he might put the hurt on KD. Like, the Nets might not even, like, be having a chance. And if Kyrie hurts them in the locker room, dude, it could be the situation where the Nets are a non-player. So,
yeah, I mean, if Kyrie hurts them in the locker room, he's getting flipped for Harden. So he probably knows. Uncle Drew's got to stay in line.
He probably knows that now that and that's probably going to help him, though, for being honest. Like, having somebody, as much as Kyrie wants it, I just don't know how much he can be the absolute first fiddle, like, team leader, like a LeBron or a KD can be. You know, like, I just don't know, man.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, sorry, referee.
Tweet.
Foul to you.
Boom.
How dare you interrupt the referee? And as soon as I pull up this buzzer, you're dead. All right. And also the question goes back to you, Scott. So we're going to check in with you. Tell us about the bubble and beyond with the Bulls. Starting now.
The Bulls, God bless them. The Chicago Bulls, they did it. They fired Garpax, the two-headed snake that ran this fascist regime. No, I mean, like, they got rid of him. They brought in the dude from Denver. They brought in Eversley as GM. I believe that's his name. Apologies, Mark, if I'm pronouncing it wrong. I know everybody's listening to this. And then, of course, Billy Donovan. I mean, they fired their training staff, fired their assistant coaches. They're looking to build an identity. I mean, they went and they reach in a draft with a lot of prospects that they kind of are considered a weak draft, sure. But, I mean, they went and got a wing who has a ton of upside positional flexibility, which I think the league is heading towards. You need wings. I mean, I love everything they're doing, and I'm waiting for it to go wrong.
That was incredible. You went well over time, but you never stopped.
And it was poetic.
So I'm going to give it to you. No, that was beautiful. It went until it didn't.
His answer needed to be that long. Yeah.
I agree. And so, honestly, Zach, I'll probably afford you a 48-seconder as well. But unless
I can do
it
in
sucks,
24.
I might give you a penalty anyway. So fire it up. Let's hear it. Let's hear about the Kings from you.
Okay, so the Kings have, in the bubble, pretty lackluster. I had a little bit of high hopes. I was like, ooh, yeah, maybe if we remove the fans from everything, the Kings' true potential will shine. And as it turns out, every other team, including the Suns, but them, did that. So, they dudded it up. Buddy Hield was not looking like a max extension type player. I mean, it's cool that we re-signed De'Aaron Fox. He's our cash cow. He's like our big guy. I'm excited to have him back, but I'm really hating all this flirting we're doing with trading who I think is our true second best player, Bogdanovich. He's so freaking good. I need to see him in a Kings jersey next year. And if we end up trading him to a title contender, I will be so hurt.
Bogdanovich. Scott, where do you think he's going to go?
I don't know. I think the Hawks, as of the recording of this podcast, got Did they get Bogdanovich, or maybe they got Gallinari? I'm not sure. We'll have to check.
They got Gallinari. They definitely have
Gallinari. Okay. So I don't know where he's gonna go. It's an interesting question. I do want to say on an optimistic note, though, I do love the Tyrese Halliburton selection at 12. I actually thought that's who the Bulls were gonna take at 4. That's a dude who is gonna fit right into the system. Is gonna be what you guys wanted from Buddy Hield to fit in right next to Fox, who obviously got the huge extension. Is gonna be there for a hot minute. I think that's gonna be a nice pairing.
I agree with you there. I do think that's cool. And that's going to be a nice pairing. But I also got to say, like, I'm not high on this draft in general. And who knows with anybody? Like you said, that one dude literally just has like a video of him playing.
Pogu.
Hey, I'm excited. I was excited as anybody, but it is to be fair. Like, this is probably one of the most uncertain drafts of all time. So I have my hopes up for the Kings, like I always do. But similar to you, Scott, I'm always ready to be disappointed.
Yeah, I mean, I didn't know. I did so much research going into this draft. I thought Lamelo was going to fall to the Bulls, so I was watching way too much Lamelo highlights. And then the Bulls took Patrick Williams, and after about 4 hours of YouTube highlights, I was like, yeah, this is the guy number 1 on my board. Love him, never doubted him. That's kind of what this draft is. It's like, I don't know, man. Like, everybody's board's different. We're all just watching YouTube highlights from home.
Yeah, exactly.
All right. What are you guys most excited to watch for this next season?
Most or least?
I'm switching around.
Okay.
Most. And Scott, we'll start with you.
I'm going to take the low-hanging fruit. It's the Warriors, devastated by the Klay Thompson injury. I mean, I'd never make fun of it personally. I was devastated. But, like, we all miss Steph Curry. Probably the most fun superstar. If not, he's up there. I don't know what the Mount Rushmore is. He's there. James Wiseman's going to unlock the pick and roll, give him even more spacing, and I just need some Chef Curry in my life outside of Holy Moly on Hulu.
Bang, bang. Fantastic. Zach, over to you. What are you most excited about for this next season?
Dude, I got to say, for me, I'm going to take the easy route out too, man. I'm really excited about the Lakers. They're retooled. They literally got rid of all their old or declining players, replaced them with like newer, better guys, Schroeder, Harrell. Like, I mean, those are 2 incredible signings. And I mean, I love King James, man. He's such a light in this NBA. I'm excited to see him hopefully get another title and inch closer to Jordan.
Très bien. Also under 24. Yes. All right, then we're going to flip around to what is the most like overrated, what do you not give a shit about? What hot take or like thread line of NBA news now is way overblown and will be dead by the second the season starts? What is the thing you're least interested in come this next season? Zach, we're going to start with you.
I'm just going to say I'm least interested in the Raptors, okay? And I will say it's absolutely a personal problem that I have with them. They had the opportunity to move to Kansas City because they need a new place to play in because there's a problem with Canada and traveling with COVID and stuff. And instead of choosing Kansas City, where we've got all of these people trying to get them to come here, they choose to go to Tampa, Florida, which is just a shitty Florida city that's like Kansas City but next to the water. Okay, it's just as boggy and swampy and blah there. I don't get why they had to go to Tampa. I'm hurt. Also, they punted and traded all their players away, like Ibaka and Marc Gasol. So boo-hoo. I don't give a shit about the Raptors.
Over 24, but I will happily take a shitting on Tampa, Florida.
This is the greatest war since the War of 1812. Is that when we fought Canada? When did we fight them? Any history fans tweet at me.
I'm hurt, man. Patrick Mahomes wanted them to come here so bad. He tried, man. He tried.
I mean, does this officially make Drake a Florida man, though?
Oh, God.
Drake's gonna have a face tattoo by game 22nd. I'm calling
it. Drake's next song is just about exclusively like bath salts and scratching your face off.
God's plan.
Scott, over to you. What are you least interested in after this offseason?
Oh my God, hot take city for y'all. The New Orleans Pelicans. Okay, I want you to picture half the court, like the half court basketball, like, like from the half court line to the basket. Now I want you to shrink that Fortnite style, like the walls are collapsing in until it's a 3-foot radius circle underneath the basket. And that's what you get when you trot out a lineup of Steven Adams, Eric Bledsoe, Brandon Ingram, Lonzo Ball, and Zion Williamson. It is not going to be fun to watch. I'm going to watch it because I'm going to think maybe it will be fun, and it won't be.
Oof. oof, man. I mean, I gotta say, like, you've got a great answer as well, Scott. I haven't even been paying attention to the Pelicans, but all those things you just said sounded kind of sad. And honestly, like, I mean, I'm pretty low on Zion after last season. I wanted to be so hyped on him, and I just had a hard time doing it, man. I was much more impressed by Ja Morant, the guy that plays for Jack's former favorite team, the Memphis Grizzlies.
It's true. Who am I a fan of now? I don't remember. Am I a Suns fan?
I mean, you're a referee.
I think you are a Suns fan now.
You're a referee, so the easy joke is the Lakers.
Hey. I love those Los Angeles Lakers. Dude, yeah, the Simpsons joke, the Atlanta Falcons.
Whatever happened to the Vancouver Supersonics?
Shit. All right.
You want to tally us up, Jack?
I will tell you up. Is there any topic that we have touched on that you feel that you need to make an additional? We'll give you some overtime for any topic that you feel you'd like to review or rebuttal against.
I would like to clarify for the Pelicans. I had a very vivid imagery I gave everyone of the Fortnite bubble shrinking to a tiny circle under the basket. And I just want to clarify that there are no weapons in the circle. There are no power-ups, and everybody just quits and settles for a loss.
That's horrible news.
Yeah, I guess I just wanted to go in a little further on my analogy to the super ego that James Harden, Kyrie Irving, and Kevin Durant could create in New York, being akin to the pink slime in Ghostbusters 2. I just want to say that I think it could be pink slime level, and it could also be like a combination of the pink slime and that goo that the aliens turned into Space Jam 2. And maybe if it comes together just right, like their egos could be so massive there in New York that they could suck all the talent out of the rest of the league. Like people could legitimately like just not want to show up against this squad. Like they could just be completely eclipsed by these ultramassive egos.
That's a good point.
I tell you what, Zach,
that would be insane.
That kind of concentration of 90s goos might actually be the next draft class that Scott is talking about.
You mean the
all been trading for.
Literally
the prenatal draft class that the OKC Thunder have waiting for them?
While you were discussing that, it was announced by Woj that OKC has invested money into stem cell research and has just traded for 34 first-round draft picks. It's incredible news.
Incredible.
Lottery protected,
what a
of course.
Season. Obviously, our program will still be around in 30-34, so I cannot wait for that episode.
Yes.
Well, we really are robots, and it's just like, that was a great rebuttal.
Thank
great
you,
callback, Scott.
Great use of analytical evidence.
Good inside joke, Zach, even though nobody understands it but Scott and Jack.
The big man is dead. Did you see Drake with the face tattoo?
That. We've got so many good names for this episode. It could either be The Big Man is Dead. Did you see Drake with the face tattoo? Or Rudy Golbert is always within arm's reach of a microphone.
Excellent. All right. I have taken this time to tally up your violations.
Yes.
And by that, I just went to go get another beer. And in the meantime, I decided that it's a tie.
Yes.
Uh-oh.
It's a tie. It's, let's say, 4-4 or 3-3. And I have a tiebreaker question for you both. Now,
and keep in mind drama. Whoever loses has to say whatever the other person deems appropriate. Drama.
That is correct. So whoever loses this, to restate, will have to say the embarrassing phrase that the winner has decreed that they must say. I said that much smoother. All right, so your tiebreaker question is, it's a zombie apocalypse. Rank the Ball family from worst to best survivability and why. There is a right answer.
Ooh.
I'm going to give you both 30 seconds to think about it.
Okay. From worst to best.
24 seconds, because I have that timer readily available.
Gonna type out my order.
Please do. Do.
Oh, I'm ready. Not for a zombie apocalypse,
all right.
just the answer.
Dun.
All right.
Dun.
So, Scott, since you were ready first, we're going to give it to you. Rank them worst to best on survivability in the zombie apocalypse in the Ball family.
Okay. From worst, Lonzo, he can't shoot. I mean, it's just like a given. Dude can't shoot. Second worst, Lamelo, he could shoot, but really inopportune times. He's probably going to shoot himself in the foot. Third, it's going to be LeVar. Like, it's not given enough credence that he might be able to talk his way out of getting bitten by a zombie. Not for very long, but I'm like 35 minutes, and then like they give up and eat him. And then it's LiAngelo, because he is built like a football player. Dude is just like an action movie star. And the Ball that is most likely to succeed or live is the mom, because nobody knows she exists.
Tina Ball.
I don't know if that's true. I think you're just throwing out a name.
Find out next week. All right, Zach.
So good.
What do you got?
I have a slightly different answer, okay? I think the weakest link is LiAngelo Ball. And I'm just going to say he's the weakest link because it doesn't seem like any of the other ones would pull up for him. Like, I feel like if they all had like a family vote and they had to sacrifice one of them, they would easily give LiAngelo to the zombies first. And I think that's how he's going to go. I think his own dad, LeVar, is going to betray him and throw him down into the pit of zombies just to save Lamelo and Lonzo, his cash cows. But I do think that Lamelo will actually go before Lonzo, just because I don't know how to put it. I just have this feeling, like I just have this feeling that Lamelo tastes better. Like, I just have this like loose thought that like if like they're both like the same speed, height, like physicals, they can both get away. Like I feel like a zombie's gonna go harder for Lamelo. Like they're gonna like track him down no matter where he's at because they can just smell that young, fresh blood on him. And then of course Lonzo, and then Lamar, and then the mom. And I'll say why. Because Lonzo is the golden son. He was the first to go. Okay, he's gonna be the last one standing, and he's gonna lay his life down for LeVar and his mother because he's just like that. He's the oldest child. He's responsible, right? And I'm actually going to switch up my answer. I was going to say that the wife would make it last, but I truly do think that if it came down to it, and we're imagining it like I'm imagining it, where it's Lonzo, LeVar, and the wife in a room as it's being overtaken by zombies. First, Lonzo's going to try to sacrifice himself so his parents can get away. And then I don't know, but I just think maybe LeVar would use his wife as a human shield. Like, I just have this inkling that he might be that type of person. He's so self-centered, he's so into himself, that he might use her as a human shield to sift through the zombies, but eventually get overtaken himself, thus ending the chapter in my Ball family fanfiction.
Thus ending season 7.
Counterpoint,
of Ball
ref.
Family. Allowed. Sustained.
Important counterpoint. I just cannot interject. I can't let Zach go on any further saying that Lonzo would sacrifice himself when if he was up to date with the Ball family drama, he would know that Lonzo left the Big Ball brand shoe brand that his dad created for them and got the BBB tattoo on him covered with a really shitty pair of dice that's not in the right perspective. So he would not sacrifice himself for his parents. I would argue that he would let them get eaten.
Wow.
Oh my God.
I think the choice is obvious here, folks.
I fumbled. I shot
Scott
the last
with
second
the
buzzer
surprise
beater, made it,
witness.
and they reviewed it and it didn't count.
I'm really
No,
up to
sir.
date with the Balls because I thought LaMelo was going to fall to the Bulls at number 4. It's just a bad stroke of luck for Zach.
Terrible.
Wow.
Horrible, horrible news. And with that, your winner for season 2, episode 1 of the Shot Clock Violation is Scott Schultz, ladies and gentlemen.
Phenomenal, Scott.
And
Truly.
as always,
take your bow.
take your bow, take your victory lap.
I just want to dedicate this victory to Poku! OKC, baby, here we go.
Here we come, here we come. And as always, you are granted the power to make Zach say a phrase of your choice.
I want Zach
Have
to
you
say...
thought of your phrase?
I have. And I would like Zach to say that, honestly, Tampa Bay is a really reasonable city for the Raptors to play in. Not asking for a lot, just really reasonable.
Oh my God, no.
Who doesn't want reason? That's even worse than saying it's a good place.
I'm going to say it, but I just want to predicate this by saying that Tampa Bay is the butt crack of America. Okay, Tampa Bay is not actually the butt crack of America. It is a completely reasonable and honestly probably the best place for the Raptors to play this year.
Wow.
Thank you, Scott.
I barfed a little.
Incredible.
Wow. Well, gentlemen,
we all did.
It has been great joining you guys for the second season, the first episode of Shot Clock Violation of this next NBA season. And I'm excited to join you guys in another week or so to talk more NBA.
Yes, and thank you to everyone listening, whoever that might be. And join us next week, next month, next year, whenever this next episode happens, to keep incredibly delayed up to date with the next NBA season, but full of hot takes.
Yes, sir. You heard it here, 9th or 10th. Right on. So this is us signing off of Shot Clock. Bye.
Bye-bye. Scott?
See you all next week from OKC when I get traded there.
Shot clock violation.